Alright, here we go. Let's do it. Who's here today? I'd like to see you sign in so we can go ahead and do this class. Hello everyone. Good to see you today. It's Monday. It is the 15th of June. Yvonne. So, Yvonne, I always know you're going to be present because you are like a superstar among superstars. So I already know that you're going to be here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being present. Who else is here? Oh, are you serious? Angelique, hello. Me, Yvonne Perez Day. I don't know what that means, but I like it. Yanette, what's happening? How are you all? Okay. All right, cool. So we got 3 so far. Let's see if we can get to 5 or 10. All right, Yvonne. All right. You know what? I do want to meet you all. I want to meet you all. Like, perhaps we have to do it through text messaging or my phone number or whatever. But I want to meet you. I feel like we've all been deprived because of the fact that we can't talk and say hello, right? So 305-755-2579 is my number. I'd like to set an appointment with all of you so that we can sit back and talk, so that we can chill out and just have a conversation together. Because I know you're all real, and I know I'm real, and so it'd be really nice to be able to go to a higher level. You know what I'm saying? So if any of you want to like have a conversation for real, phone, face to face, let's do it. And then, of course, we don't know what's going to happen this fall as far as classes. I'm already readapting my career around what's happening with coronavirus. I'm readapting it, and I'm sure that I'm going to be doing blended from now on. Thank you, Annette. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Cheryl. What's up? Good afternoon. Yvonne, you know you're my girl, man. You're my girl. I just, when I see your name on here, I know that I have someone who's persevering, who's patient, who's persistent, and that means a lot. And for the rest of you who are on here, the reason I say that to her is the fact that, hey Maria, is the fact that I will write you letters of recommendation. And the letters of recommendation are based upon you being significant. Rosa, what's up? Now I will tell you that I'm listening to the outside, and it sounds like it's about to storm. So there might be some thunder, there might be some lightning, and everything else. But we're going to move forward, okay? And hold on. Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. As a matter of fact, the report I've been working on is now at 55 pages. I was just offered yesterday $10,000 to take that, Cheryl. I'm blessed too. I was just offered yesterday $10,000 to take the very document that I'm writing to transform it into a grant proposal for $10,000. You know what? I'm not a smart guy. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not a great guy, but I am me. And I have some insights, and I can figure things out. And in this particular case, I think that we can make a huge difference down in Homestead, down in Florida City. I think that Homestead and Florida City have some situations, structural, like economic deprivation, educational deprivation, that is causing those communities to struggle. Hey, Damaris. I know I said your name wrong, but that's okay. So I think that in Homestead and Florida City, when I look at this report, we have the opportunity to make a big difference down there. And it's a sociological difference. It's not like, it's not as if themselves. They can. All the answers to all of our questions rest right in our own structures. However, I think that Homestead, Florida City, they need an outsider's perspective on this one. And so I'm going to get paid very well to develop a program, to develop a grant, so that natural things can happen to natural people, where we can make greatness happen to greatness. And, you know, you all are getting a college education, you're going to get a degree, you're going to take these credits, and all that stuff's going to happen, and you're going to get a degree based upon it. But, you know, at the end of the day, really, truly, the information I'm giving you, I give to everybody else. Hey, Rochelle. And I think that we can make a difference. You and me together, we can make a difference. And so that's kind of how I want to approach this topic tonight. How to make a difference. This is social problems, and I'm taking a very institutional approach. Right? Which means, and I've said it before, I think that the economic institution is the one that dominates all the other institutions, because the economic institution will shape the education institution. Why? Because the people who come out of the education, who graduate, are the ones who are going to fill the job spots. They're the ones who are going to fill the institutional roles of employment. Right? So, education and economics are directly connected. Family? Simple. And I was talking about this with my friend yesterday, right? And we were talking about the idea that, does the institutional or does the nuclear family make sense anymore? And so I have a lot of friends who like to date around. And we were talking about the fact that in 1870, 1900, 1920, 1930, the nuclear family was very instrumental in terms of creating stability for society. But now that artificial intelligence, now that robotics, now that all these kind of conditions are hitting us at the same time, the idea of having a nuclear family doesn't fit like it did 150 years ago. Now, if you're lucky enough to find someone who loves you, which, now I do believe that one-on-one love is important. I believe in monogamy. I've been married twice. I've had 5 or 6 girlfriends, and my current girlfriend, she's the one. She's the one. I had to make some changes because to fit into her life, my life as a professor, everything else, doesn't always fit. My upbringing doesn't always fit. My upbringing, hey, if you haven't read Dear Mama yet, you're going to find out my upbringing, I shouldn't be proud. And every day I lived with the threat of death. I didn't know what day I was going to get killed, but I knew that one day I was going to get killed. So I asked Mama Green, I said, hey Ma, do you think my mother would ever kill me? She said, oh yes. Your mother would have killed you. Not because she didn't love you, not because she didn't care, but because she couldn't handle and manage anger. Your mother would have killed you at some point. And so every day that I live, Shawn Schwaner, Schwaneezy, every day I live, I realize that I have been blessed. I've been blessed with life. Because I know for a fact, my mother didn't want me. She loved me. She didn't want me. And so, every day when I wake up, I say, okay, you're very blessed to be here. Your mother didn't want you, you had Mama Green, all this kind of thing. But what it comes down to is that the lessons I learned from Bertha, Mama Green, are the lessons I share with you. And here it is. You have greatness in you. I love my girlfriend. I will never forget her. I got to be a better person. I'm going to take care of her and everything else. However, you have greatness in you. And every day that you don't take a step in your greatness or in the direction of your greatness, it's a day wasted. Every day that you don't decide that, now is my moment, it's another day gone. And next week I'm going to do an investment video. But you know what? It's not about investments. It's about investing in yourself. And I'm looking at the screen. I'm a lot older than I used to be. I got this same hat on. By the way, that's called Team Builders. I'm always building my team. Got my shirt on. I got like 8 of these shirts, so it's not like I haven't washed them. These shirts are all different, but they say something, right? And what they say is, I'm purple, Mama Green is green. Mama Green always taught me that the mourning dove brought the ark, or brought the olive leaf to the ark, so that the bird of peace is the one that will always represent you. Me, I'm purple. I love Prince, and I'm a little bit different than other people. So when you see the purple, I can't do all this. When you see the purple and you see the green, that's Mama Green and that's me. Two people who entirely shouldn't be together. Two people who should not have ever met, but we loved each other unconditionally. And before this class started today, I'm always reading stuff. I'm always reading. I was thinking about the Tulsa riots. I'm looking at the riots here in Miami. I'm looking at the riots across the country. I'm looking at the coronavirus. I'm like, my God, what is going on? And my students, that's you. I don't want you to have to go through the struggles I went through. I don't. I don't want you to go through the struggles that I saw. But I saw. And so if I can give to you a gift, it'd be this. My gift to you is you get to live a life of peace and harmony. And the peace and harmony is based upon the idea that you get to control your destiny. So we go back to Tulsa, Arkansas in 1921. Bertha Green was 11 years old, 12 years old. She was born in 1908 in Tupelo, Mississippi. And she told me about the Elaine, Arkansas massacre, which is where I think it was like 300, 400 people were lynched and they were killed in one place. And the reason they were killed was they wanted rights. They wanted to say, I deserve more than this wage that you give me for picking this cotton. So if I pick this cotton and I do this for an hour, you should give me more than this minimum wage so that me and my family can survive. And 300 people got slaughtered. And Mom Green used to tell me, she used to be like, Shawnee, my boy. I said, what, Mom? She said, and this is kind of weird, I'm going to come back to it. And she used to be like, you can't date African American women. I said, what? I said, you're African American. What are you talking about, Bert? And she said, no, you can't. I said, why? She said, because the world is not ready for you to date someone who's different than yourself. I said, really? She said, no. African American women are great, but society is not ready for you to date them. I said, okay. And she said, look, in 1919, 1920, when I was a little girl, she said, all these people got slaughtered over race. And she said, baby, I love you. I can't let you get slaughtered because of the difference of our skin color. I said, okay, Bert. All right, Mom. I hear you. So, 110 years later, we're looking at these riots, right? And I look at them and I'm like, what is causing this to happen? It's hate, for sure. But it's not just hate. It's based upon the idea that we as individuals construct meaning out of nothing. We socially construct reality. And according to social constructionists, that is symbolic interactionists, when we construct a definition of what is real and then we act upon that as if it is real, then it becomes real. Well, guess what? We're the culprits in the same fucking... Sorry. We're the culprits in the same situation. Excuse my F-bomb, I'm sorry. So here's what happens. In Boston, Tulsa, Chicago, New York, whatever, it's all socially constructed. And I saw today that another African American man was gunned down in Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta, right? And I sit there and I think to myself, why? What was the process? I already know where hate comes from. What was the process that led him to being shot? He should have never been shot. What did he do? Nothing. He did nothing. Why is he dead? Because of his skin? Are you serious? Really? So I look at it and I think about my background. Irma Jean, Mom Green's daughter, Irma Jean would never go to a restaurant with me. So I say, hey, come on, Jean, let's go to Pizza Hut. No, we'll get the pizza, we'll take it out with us. I said, come on, let's go sit inside. Irma Jean was heavy. She weighed about 350. She said, no, baby, I can't go in there. I said, why? She said, because people will stare at me being with you. I'm like, what? And then we go to the grocery store, Kroger's, in Ohio. Down here is Publix. So we go to Kroger's, and she was saying, baby, I said, what, Jean? She said, you see all these people staring at us? I'm like, no, I don't see any. She said, they're staring at us. I can't come back here. So I start to look at those stories, right? And I start to look at this idea that race is an issue. And then I realize, as a white male in particular, that race doesn't make sense to me. The idea that you and I are different because of our race, it don't make no sense. You know why? I'll keep it simple. Because you have issues, I have issues. You have financial situations, I have financial situations. You love your kids, I love my kids. Right? You work, I work. And so when we take a look at what the difference is between race, there is no difference. We're all trying to structurally do the same thing. So the only difference in terms of race is based upon social constructions. And social constructions are very, very, very powerful. So let's take a look at it. Alright? This is our social problems class. And I think I asked you to tell me what you think are the top 5 social problems that we face. I think I even eliminated an assignment. Let me ask you, what are the social problems we face? Is it race? Is it economics? Is it education? What do you think is our number one social problem? And I'm going to watch. I know there's a time delay, so I got to do this kind of thing where I got to watch because of this delay. But I do want to know, what is our number one social problem from your perspective? You almost saw my hair. I saw you. You almost saw it. Don't worry about it. Alright, I'm watching. I know what I think it is. For me, the number one social problem is economic inequality. Hands down. But I also know that when I take a look at homicide, which is, my area of expertise, when I take a look at suicide, another area of my expertise, I know that both of those things, those outcomes, those dependent variables, are driven by economic forces. Yvonne, you said society. What do you mean, Yvonne? What do you mean society is our social problem? What does that mean? Help me out, everyone. Help me out. What does society mean to you? What is our number one social problem? do. Yvonne, I'll tell you what, man. You're right. I do think that society is our problem. It's not so when I look at society as a problem, I don't look at it as beliefs. I don't look at it as Trump. I look at it as all these interlocking forces that work together to hold us back. If society was not the social problem, all of us would be able to manifest our greatness. But we don't, and we can't. And here's the thing, is that at the end of the day, we end up getting a job so that we can survive. And that's how it is. It's the same for me as it is for you. Hold on. Damn. Coronavirus. Shit. So, we get a job so that we can make a wage. And the wage doesn't pay us enough to manifest our greatness. Yvonne said, we the one. Yeah, I know. Society itself is holding us back. But if you go back to the first day of class, it says if social institutions shape our context, right? Yes. Cheryl, you're definitely right. If society shapes our current situation, thank you, Rose. I appreciate it. Big time. Then who we are and what we are is shaped by societal forces. But the problem is, as individuals, how do we reconfigure society? Because if it's true that you and I are an outcome of society, and the odds of us transforming society are impossible, then how can you and I make a difference? Right? How can we make a difference? Well, it comes down to this. You matter. You matter. Every single person you come in contact with is a growth of your perspective. Every single person that you impact is a growth of your perspective. So, if you're broken and you impact others, they're going to be broken. But if you come in built with structure, and then you influence them, then they're going to be broke. They're going to be fixed. And if they're fixed, you're fixed. So, let's go back to the question. What's the greatest social problem? My perspective is economic inequality. I've always thought that. It's based upon the neighborhood I grew up in. Damaris, I'm sorry everyone. I read her response. I love it. It is economic to me. It's not political. Not religious. It's not family. Family, structurally, yes. If you came from a single female-headed household, your odds of success are lower than if you came from a two-parent household. But at the end of the day, your greatness, your success, is based upon you fitting into the institutions. So my job is not to teach you anything. I can't teach you anything. I realized a long time ago I can't teach you anything. My job is designed to help you find yourself. If you find you, and you find who you are in the trends, then you're going to be great. Now let's look at this. Tucson. Not Tucson, I'm sorry. That's where my girlfriend's from. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. 350 men, black men, got executed. And here's why they got executed. Tulsa was known as the Black Wall Street. Just like New York is known as the Wall Street, Tulsa was regarded as the Black Wall Street because There are people who are thriving. There are people who are like excelling. There are people who are manifesting their destiny. And stereotypically, and it's always based upon stereotypes. The shit that's happening right now is stereotypes. It's not based upon individual behavior. It's based upon stereotypes defining what behavior means. So we take a look at it, and a black male gets into an elevator in 1921 to go to the bathroom. But because black could not use the same bathrooms as whites, he had to go to the 7th floor. He couldn't go to the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. He had to go to the 7th floor. And the girl, a 17-year-old girl, back in those days, there was an elevator manager, and they took you to wherever you were going to go. And so the elevator manager was a white female, 17, and she goes, "What floor do you want to go to?" And he goes, 7, so I can go to the bathroom. Something happens in between the 1st and the 7th floor. She falls out of her chair, and he helps her get back in the chair. Because he helped her get back in the chair, legend has it, I don't know, I wasn't there. I wasn't there for Mike Tyson. I wasn't there for Rodney King. I wasn't there. I wasn't there for OJ. But I know that what was presented is not accurate to what happened. We'll talk about OJ later. And so she dies. We don't know how she dies or whatever. No, she didn't die. She didn't die. She charged him with rape. We don't know what happened in that elevator. But what we do know is that 300 black males lost their lives over the next week. We know that all the businesses that were black owned got burned to the ground. We know that Tulsa got burned to the ground and all the homes that those people lived in were torched. And why? Why were they torched? Because of stereotypes, baby. Because of stereotypes. So we take a look at what happened to George Floyd, Rodney King. OJ's different. We're going to have to talk about OJ in a separate matter. OJ, we take a look at all these cases that go back in time. And what we're really looking at is not what happened. We're taking a look at what are the stereotypes that persisted at that time that happened. And stereotypes then become so powerful. And so, when I teach this class, I teach any class, I think about the idea of stereotypes and the notion that you and I control stereotypes. If there's stereotypical thinking that impacts the way we think or we live, we have the ability to reconsider it. We have the ability to change it. And so, when I look at George Floyd, I'm sorry. He shouldn't be deceased. No. He was wrongfully murdered. It's easy. And he was wrongfully murdered because of race. But it should have never happened. Trayvon Martin. Let's talk about Trayvon Martin for a second. I don't have a very popular opinion about Trayvon Martin, alright? Most people disagree with me, and that's fine. That's fine. But when we talk about Trayvon Martin, there was nothing correct in what happened to him. Zimmerman should have never followed him. Zimmerman used stereotypes to say that this kid's a threat. Zimmerman, when he called the police said, "Lay off of him, we'll come over and take care of this," and he followed anyhow. Why? Because of stereotypes. But what we don't know with Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, here's what we don't know. And I'm not trying to be politically incorrect or whatever, but what we don't know is this. Who argued with whom and who pulled the trigger? If Trayvon Martin was threatening Zimmerman, and Zimmerman stood his ground, then he's exonerated by law, right? I mean, stand your ground laws. If someone attacks you and you stand your ground, you're allowed to fight back. But we don't know whose voice is whom. We don't know who Zimmerman was in that audio. We don't know who Trayvon Martin was. But here's what we do know. I think Trayvon Martin should have been exonerated. I mean, his freedom was correct. Legally, in terms of legal criminal justice. However, every behavior that he did was incorrect. And every behavior he did up until the point where Trayvon Martin died was based upon stereotypes. Trayvon Martin died simply because he was a stereotypical person being stereotyped by a stereotypical guy. End of story. Should Zimmerman execute? I don't know. I don't think so. Not because at that moment we don't know who did what. We don't know. You and I. Okay. Here's how the criminal justice system is based. The criminal justice system in America is based upon this idea that you are guilty. You're innocent until proven guilty, right? That's what it's based upon. Innocent until proven guilty. And so, and most people have a very hard time with this, is that if you take the worst person in America, Jeffrey Dahmer, you take the worst person, they deserve a fair trial. The worst person deserves the most ultimate trial. And the reason is because if you, as a fair person, were brought to trial, you should be given every component of fairness that there is. So, if Shawn Schwaner brought to trial over a crime I didn't commit, I want all justice directed towards me. And most people don't believe in that. Most people act off of emotion rather than justice. Most people will act off of what is impulsively in them rather than saying, you know what, here's how justice should work. And because you and I operate off of stereotypes and off of configurations of hatred that we didn't create, because you and I operate off of that, we're imprisoned by the same system that we operate on. You and I are imprisoned by the same system that we create. So, when these protests happened over George Floyd, I don't know, I saw what happened, and I think he was wrongfully executed. And I think those police should go to jail or prison. That's my belief. All right? They will or won't. Now, I think that what's going to happen is, historically, they're going to find other evidence that says, mitigating circumstances. Don't be surprised if those police officers don't get acquitted. History says that they'll get acquitted not because they're good or bad, but because there's going to be evidence that says, you know what, George Floyd was wrongful. I think it'd be a travesty, but I think that's what's going to happen. Okay? Hey, Rochelle. If George Floyd and his officers are exonerated, my friends, I love you. I do. I love all of you. I don't even know you. I haven't seen you. I'm talking to a computer screen. But I do love you. If he gets exonerated, if they get exonerated, you think the protests now are bad? The protests back in 1970 or 1992 with Rodney King were worse. I'm going to tell you something. If he gets exonerated, we're going to see division that we've never seen before. Now, in terms of social problems, here's what I believe. You are my friends. You belong in my heart. I want you to protest. I want you to protest intellectually with your mind, understanding that institutions cause the situation. However, you're welcome. You're welcome. I want you to know that I'm on your side. If they get exonerated and they don't get prison time, the riots are going to be worse, and I want you all to be safe. I want you all to be in a position where you can live your life, where you can be great. And I want you to live your life such that these, almost curse, these GD socially constructed divisions don't affect your life forever. What I want you to see is that, okay, even though divisions exist, even though they're socially constructed, even though the media is pounding upon you how you should think, I want you to think for yourself. I want you to consider that while you're thinking for yourself, your greatness is sitting here. And you deserve your greatness. Even if stereotypically you're the one that is like attacked, even if stereotypically you're the one that is stereotyped, you, my friend, are not a controlling image. You have the ability to control the life as you see it. And so, when I look at these cases, I mean, I'm smart enough to know what's going on, right? But when I look at these cases, I know that the widespread impact on your life is much broader. And I want each of you, and I know you have a new assignment, you got to do a social problem assignment for Sunday, whatever. But I want you to understand that these institutional forces shape the context. And you building your networks is the greatest countervailing force there can be. If you don't build your networks, if you don't build your team, those forces will dominate you. If you build your team and the people around you, you have a chance to survive and thrive in the greatest change in human history. So when I watched George Floyd, when I watched this dude up in Atlanta, I'll learn his name later. When I watch this stuff happen, I know that it doesn't have to be you. And I know that you can make a difference by putting yourself in the forces of change. I am no longer a professor. I'm not. I'm not. I mean, in terms of being at Miami-Dade College, yes, I'm a professor. But I'm not a professor because I don't follow the same scripts as other professors. I won't. There's nobody out there that's going to tell Shawn Schwaner how to think for himself. You can't bureaucrat me. You can't organization me. You cannot force me to believe anything I don't believe. And here's what I'm telling you, is that you are great. I have goodness, but you are great. And you know what? Together, we can make all this happen. So in terms of social problems, I can't remember what the assignment was for Sunday, but I do know that I eliminated some assignments. Here's all I want. Whether it's Sunday or next Sunday or the Sunday after that, is I want you to find a topic that is relevant to you, that has to do with social problems. And I want you to do a 3 to 5 page paper, which is easy. I mean, that's easy. Because if you're organized, you're going to take care of it. I don't want a bunch of papers based upon George Floyd. I want papers based upon what is important to you. And if economic inequality is your issue, thank you, Cheryl. A movie social problem, yeah. Yvonne, what's up? I don't know which assignment is which, because I'm teaching 4 classes. They all had a similar structure but different. Doesn't matter. I want you to be able to think theoretically using conflict theory, functionalist theory, symbolic interaction, whatever, so that Yvonne, you know you're my girl now. Don't try all this on me, all right? Be very structured in your approach. Every sentence should be about 18 words. Every paragraph should be about 20. Should be about 5 sentences. So every paragraph should have 5 sentences. Every sentence should have about 18 words. You focus on that only, the paper will write itself. So, Yvonne, just be you. Just let your thoughts flow. What? Cheryl, what are you talking about? Be structured, be thoughtful. Don't worry about APA and all that stuff. I don't care. I really don't care. What I care about is your thinking. And so, as you approach it, I just want you to be thoughtful. That's it. I want you to be organized. And if you're organized in your thoughts, then the grade's going to come. And with your other classes, the grades are going to come. That little 2-minute video, how to write a great paper, let me tell you something. That little 2-minute video is the greatest gift you've ever received for 2 minutes. Because if you follow that, you're going to get grades A, B, well, you never get a C. A plus, A minus, B plus for the rest of your career. And that's a promise. And if you don't, give me a call. I'll give you $10. Oh my God, Yvonne, you just crack me up, okay? You're so engaged. Well, you're a superstar. You're a talent. Yvonne, you pay attention. You're gifted. You just keep doing what you do, and you're gonna be fine. And Cheryl, same with you. Cheryl, I don't have my own skills, you know what I'm saying? I don't have these skills. I just happen to be lucky. So, you do the best you can do. I don't grade you based upon if I had the same assignment, right? I mean, you're welcome. If I had the same assignment, of course, how do I say this? I'll get an A, okay? I get an A on every assignment you have. But the thing is that I don't care about A's. I care about you. And I want you to thrive. And so when we take a look at Tulsa, Elaine, Arkansas, when we take a look at George Floyd, when we take a look at all these circumstances, they're all the same. I do have experience. I do. And I'm very good at what I do. But it's not because I'm good at what I do, it's because I practice. And I not only practice, I spent the 10,000 hours developing the skills so I can be the best of what I can be. I can do a lot of things. Some things I can't do. But when it comes to writing, it's easy because it's brainstorm, it is diagram, outline, write. I do this project I'm working on is 55 pages right now. That's how I did it. Brainstorm, diagram, outline, write. I can do it, you can do it. But the thing is that, yeah, I do have experience. I have 34 years of it. But I didn't have it when I was your age. I had to learn it. And in learning it, I became a master of it. And Cheryl, Rochelle, Yvonne, there's no reason you can't be a master. Are you serious? As a matter of fact, and I'll get back to the course lecture here in a second. As a matter of fact, the way I look at it is, not only are you great, all of you, not only are you great and have the opportunity to make something happen. The truth of the matter is that I want 100% success. I want every single person in this class to have the dreams of their life come to fruition. 100%. I don't want 10%, 20, 30. I want 100%. And that success is built upon the organization built around that writing. So it looks like a writing assignment, but it's not. That writing assignment is how you should organize your freaking life. Brainstorm it, flowchart it, outline it, and execute it. It's the same thing every time. So if you want greatness in your lifetime, that's all I want for you. That little how to write a great paper is the outline for your life, baby. That's the outline for your life. Put your life inside that video. Your life. So if you put your life, okay, here's what I want to have happen. I want to fill a stadium. That's my dream. So what do I have to do to fill a stadium? Brainstorm, 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 brainstorm. Boom. All this stuff out here on this piece of paper. And I say, all right, let me go ahead and make a diagram of what I need to do to get to fill a stadium. Boom, boom, boom. And I outline it. Set up a YouTube page, set up digital marketing, whatever. Right? And then I write it out. I execute it. One day, I don't have to do anything. I will fill a stadium. One day, you will have the dream of your life. One day, because you decided that this is important to you, and 10,000 hours later, your life is great, and you have happiness beyond what you ever imagined, then you manage. So, when I look at George Floyd in the protests, and I look at Cheryl, thank you. You hit me right here. Right? Thank you. I'm not going to cry in front of you all, okay? But Cheryl almost made me cry. So, when I look at George Floyd and his situation, I look at it structurally. And you all have the ability and the time to make a difference. And so, if you take the moments to walk in your direction, you will live a life that I never lived. And if you do that, you'll definitely be happy. Yvonne, thank you. See, when I read what you all post, it takes me a minute because I'm not gifted in terms of reading. I'm a very slow reader. But Yvonne, I want to say thank you. Cheryl, I want to say thank you. And the rest of you, I just want to say, take these moments where George Floyd or the dude in Atlanta, and I'll look up the name. When these events happen, look at how they impact you. Because social problems are personal problems, right? So, if we're looking at social problems, and we're looking at personal problems, and you all deserve to have a greater life. And so, if you can figure out how to let the institutional forces drive you, you're going to be great. But don't let hate be the destructive force that keeps you from being a better force. Because, like my friend Annette from Primerica, tell you what, she's been through the dark. Her relationship damn near destroyed her. And yet and still, she's going to become an RVP this month, at the July 1st. For her to become an RVP tells me that all of us have the ability to overcome obstacles to become a greater self. And I'm working to become a greater self. I'm in my 50-day challenge. Some of you are. But at the end of the day, it's all sociological. It's all structural. And so the more you construct your networks to allow you to fit into the social network or to fit into the structure of society, the better off you're going to be. I am just a node in the broader system. However, until the day I die, which could be tomorrow, could be 30 years from now, until the day I die, I will always be here for my students. Don't worry about Facebook. Not Facebook. What's it called? RateMyProfessor.com. I know a lot of people say I'm easy, whatever, but I always get this 5-star rating, and it's really simple. It's not because I'm 5-star. It's because I care. And I never want you to have to struggle moving forward when I'm here as your supporter. I am a node in the stream of your life. And if you need me as a resource, contact me. Because I will make sure that you thrive. I do not want anyone in this room to be a George Floyd. I do not want anyone in here to be an outcome of Elaine or Tulsa. I just want you to magnify your greatness. And you know what? I love you all. I do. I love you. And I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna sign off. Don't lose that phone number, because that phone number belongs to you. And I will be here for you. Love you. God damn it!